time, the 1 year ago today, 10 years ago. Yeah, so one of those popped up for me another day, and it was me about a year ago today, on my way to go see the live taping of the How Did This Get Made podcast tour that's in Houston. Some people familiar. For those who aren't, it's a podcast where the premise is there's this group of comedians and they all watch a really shittily acclaimed movie and then shit on the movie for the entirety of the podcast. So the reason I went is because I got a recommendation from my dad who heard that it was coming to town on the radio. And I had just started improv around that time, and so he thought it'd be a really fun comedy night out. So I ended up going to the show, but I go alone because it's kind of last minute and exposure therapy, whatever. But the day of the show I go, I'm standing in line, and as I'm standing there, I'm thinking to myself, damn, I wish I had enough time to have listened to a podcast before coming to this, or done any amount of research. But alas, I did not. So I'm standing there waiting to get my ticket scanned, and I'm not eavesdropping, but overhearing bits of conversation from people in line around me, and I kind of realized that everyone's asking each other, what'd you think of the movie? Did you watch the whole thing? Did you make it to the end? And I'm standing there damn, I did not know I was proofreading. So, on top of the, cast having watched the movie before the show, the expectation is that the audience as well watches the movie, so that everyone can be on a level playing field during the show. So I'm standing there just feeling like a real asshole at this point, waiting to go in, but I get my ticket scanned to make my way to my seat. I'm sitting there waiting for the show to start. It starts, and the performers come out, so the first guy comes out, and the crowd goes crazy. The second, the girl comes out, the crowd goes even crazier. And then the third guy, Jason Mantzoukas, he comes out, and the whole crowd unanimously breaks out into the giant boo for this guy. So everyone around me is booing. His reaction, his demeanor, he's flicking off the audience, hands up to the sky, double birding us all. And I'm sitting there just so confused at this point. I didn't know if he's involved in a recent scandal. What do I do? So I'm sitting there. Later I find out that's his thing. That's how he interacts with the audience. But that was really confusing. And so the show goes on, and I'll say that they did a pretty good job of making it interactive for people who might not have seen the movie. But there's a couple more panic moments during this experience, and one of them is they come out in the audience and they're starting to pick on people to talk about different parts of the movie. And I'm sitting there, my hand flies up so fast to my face. I'm dodging eye contact as hard as I can, and thank God, by the grace of God, I escaped getting called on for that, so that was awesome. But a little later in the show, one of the performers calls out an audience member who's filming. I guess he has his phone up and he's recording, and they're like, dude, why are you being such an asshole? All of this is going to be on the internet in 2 weeks anyways. And for legal reasons, this is a joke, but I kind of reached into my pocket and stopped my voice now. Because again, I have no idea what the show is, so I don't realize that this is a taping of a podcast that's going to be available for everyone later anyways. But I thought I was doing a active service for my dad, and I just wanted him to be able to listen to it later since he wasn't able to go. But anyhow, that was my experience, unfortunate experience going to the How Did This Get Made podcast tour.
I'm a huge fan of the podcast, and I think that this actually adds to the funniness of your story. They were not booing him. They were yelling, Zooks? Which sounds like booing, and it's funny. That's why it's funny, and that's why he's like, oh. So, yeah. So So that just actually makes the story funnier.
I have a good question for you. All right, so you talked about the zoo, which you thought was boo. Is there a time in your life when you ever got like applauded, like you got a big round of applause, like either whether it's a small room, big room, whatever? Anytime you might have experienced that.
I have some better recitals growing up.